Recently, I was having a conversation with someone about learning, and I was asked, how do you keep your motivation? We were talking about language specifically, but this could really apply to anything. The truth is, losing motivation is normal. It happens to most, if not all of us. And so, even though it sound intuitive, the first thing I would suggest is to take a break. Go do something else completely unrelated. Maybe sleep. Or even practice or study something similar, but new. For instance, if you're trying to learn a song, then work on a different one. Or simply play one you already know. If you're studying a math or science problem, try solving a different problem using whatever it is you're trying to learn. Instead of trying to figure out the circumference of a circle, pretend you're trying to figure out the distance someone would travel to go part of the way through a roundabout, maybe a quarter of the way, or 3/4 of the way. Or if you're trying to understand audio frequencies, stop and imagine yourself running up a flight of stairs, then back down that flight, down another flight of stairs, and back up one flight. Every time you do that, that's a cycle. If you could do that in 1 second, that would be what's called a hertz. So the rate at which you can complete that cycle is the frequency, and that's what's measured in hertz. So at that point, you could probably say, boy, all that running at that frequency really hurts. I know that was terrible, but hopefully it helps you remember that. If you're studying a language, try studying a different concept, a new approach, maybe watch a movie or have a conversation in that language. You might even find that you're doing better than you think you're doing. To keep going about this break idea, by the way, this might be an hour, a day or two, but absolutely keep it less than a week. Because anything more than that, you'll probably end up having to relearn whatever it is you've just learned. During that break, though, our brain uses that time to subconsciously start processing some of that stuff that we're trying to learn. That time, that break, can actually help to cement some things that you're working on. It's essentially spaced repetition. That's a concept that the Pimsleur approach uses for learning languages. Some of the podcasts I listen to learning languages also do that same approach. You listen to something, you go off, you do something completely unrelated, you come back, see if you remember that thing. And then next time you repeat that, it's probably going to be a longer break in between. So that break is actually a beneficial thing. And one more thing about the break. Afterward, we may find ourselves consciously, eagerly working things out more easily just because that break has refreshed us. The second thing I'd recommend is to review what you've learned. You might be surprised at how much you know or how well you're doing already. Don't compare to your end goal at this point, and definitely don't compare yourself to other people. If you're better than you were yesterday or last week, last year, you're already doing better than most of the people out there. But if you're closer to your goal, that's more meaningful. And as you do this review, you might even realize that some of what you already know can help you with the thing you're trying to learn right now. There is a third thing that may help you to stay motivated, and that's to remember why it is you're learning whatever you're learning. I know I just said don't compare to your end goal just yet, and I still mean that, but do imagine what it'll be like when you get there. There's a subtle difference there. If you're trudging through some area that's not interesting to you, think of why you started down this path to begin with. If that's family, your kids, that's a powerful thing. That can help you to push through something that's tough or frustrating or tedious. And if it's to go somewhere or be able to do something interesting or new, just imagine yourself doing that. Look around, see the sights, smell the smells, hear the sounds, just really take in the environment in your mind. Remind yourself, if I keep working at this thing that I'm learning, this is what I'm going to be doing. If you keep getting distracted by things or don't have enough time, remembering what your goal is can help you get past those distractions or to make time. Whether it's getting up earlier, staying up later, skipping video games, or ignoring whatever posts or streams or videos or anything that's getting in your way. When my wife and I started planning a trip to Italy, I decided that would be my trigger for learning the Italian language. I'm half Italian, but My great-grandparents were the ones who immigrated here, and they died when I was an infant, so I didn't really hear the language spoken around the home very much growing up. We had about 2 years, so I immediately started looking for ways to get input. I found YouTube channels, podcasts, apps, websites. I started speaking awkwardly with my stepdad, who's from Sicily. And then I met another great group of people too, who about half of them are from Italy. I asked questions, got plenty of friendly correction on pronunciation, ways to use words. I made sure every day I got at least 15 minutes of speaking, reading, listening, watching, or maybe all of the above. I wanted to go to Italy, honoring the people there by speaking their language. And I did. We were there for 2 weeks, and I rarely spoke English that entire time. But that happened because I pictured what it would be like to greet someone, to ask for help or directions, to request food or drink. And I got to have great conversations with people in cars, boats, trains, people who owned or worked at shops or restaurants, which never would have happened if I hadn't spent those 2 years working to understand the language to that point. If that's not encouraging, if that's not helpful to really nudge you to focus on your why, keep looking. Your reason for learning whatever you're learning is enough to get you past those moments of exhaustion, excuses, distraction, doubt, and help you prioritize your goal enough to get it done.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe for more videos like this one. We want to help you know you can learn.